happening, Niner fans? The regular season is in the books. The 49ers lost their final game, but more importantly, the playoffs are around the corner, and the 49ers have the number 1 seed. What is going on? What's up, Raphael, Enrique, Jimmy? They should have tried harder to send Rams to Dallas. Now we're going to see them again in 2 weeks after they beat Detroit. It's possible. Darren says, bang, bang. Kobe says, playoff time. Depressed Niners fan says, hey, Raj and the faithful. What's up, depressed Niner fan? How are we doing? We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's get to it. So the 49ers lose their regular season finale. And you know what? It's probably because their kicker sold today. 21-20. Rams win the game. Unfortunately, Jake Moody missed a PAT and he missed a field goal. So you look at those issues, and that's pretty much the ballgame. The 49ers offense did not move the ball too well in the second half. Again, they lost 21-20, and they just couldn't do anything in the second half. They got shut out. They scored all their 20 points in the first half. And, again, it was the backups. It was the B squad, C squad, but it's still, you're playing against the Rams backups. So 49ers are very top-heavy. They have a great team, and you just see how much of a difference, the starters make. Brock Purdy and Debo and, Ayuk and Kittle and all these guys in that roster. And you know what? It just shows you that, everybody that says, insert any quarterback in this offense and they can do what, Brock Purdy can. They can't. Sam Darnold had some decent plays. He moved the ball down the field, but a lot of that was behind the legs of Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell ran the ball very well. Commend Elijah for this game. I think it was nice to see him, running hard these last 2 weeks. CMC been nursing the calf injury. He didn't play much last game, and he didn't play this game. And it was nice to see Elijah Mitchell. But the 49ers definitely cannot afford to lose their stars. Today showed you just how top-heavy this team is. They need their guys. It's great that they're going to have, a couple of weeks to rest in between the big playoff game. Again, number 1 seed. And now the NFC playoffs are set. So let's take a look at the actual playoff matchup. So next week, you got Super Wildcard Weekend in the NFC. You got the Eagles and the Buccaneers, the 5-4 seed. The Buccaneers won their division. That NFC South is crazy, but they were probably the most consistent team, I guess. Baker Mayfield had a pretty solid season for them. And the Eagles, you want to talk about a team that's free-falling, down-falling. They lost to the Giants today. They have been 1-5 since Sirianni had his, how you like that, against the Chiefs. Like, they have fallen apart since the 49ers beat them. Nick Bosa said they put the blueprint on them, and the Eagles are just tail sliding down on a free fall. They are looking horrible, and I don't know. Maybe the Buccaneers pull off an upset. We'll see. And then the Rams play the Lions, the 6-3 seed. This is the game I think a lot of people wanted to see in the media and in, the storyline. Matt Stafford versus, Jared Goff, 2 quarterbacks playing their former teams. This is, what everybody wanted to see, I think, in the first round, and they're going to get it. And then the Packers, Jordan Love and the Packers clinched the playoff spot today. The Seattle Seahawks lost, and they fell apart as well. The 49ers broke a lot of teams this year. So it's going to be the Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys, who have the number 2 seed. The 49ers are chilling. They're either going to play the Rams, they're either going to play the Packers, Tampa Bay, or the Eagles. That's who they're going to play most likely in the second half. We don't know. We have to wait and see. Bucks, Lions, Packers. Oh, my. I'm excited. I don't care who we play. I'm just excited to find out who is going to be playing the Niners. I mean, I guess we could go into predictions. We're going to talk about predictions all week and stuff like that leading into this wild card weekend. But Eagles, Buccaneers, I think the Buccaneers might actually pull off the upset. Sorry, Seattle won the game, but Seattle lost their chance to make it to the playoffs because of the fact the Packers won. The Packers clinched their playoff spot, so that knocked Seattle out of their spot. That's kind of what I meant. But, I think the Buccaneers can steal this game, man. I think the Buccaneers might beat the Eagles. The Eagles are free-falling. Jalen Hurts has not been the same. You got A.J. Brown. His injury looks scary. I hope it's nothing serious, but he did take a big shot to the knee. Right now the reports are not looking good. That team has just absolutely falling apart. Coordinators might be leaving. There's just a lot of things going on with the Eagles. So I could see the Buccaneers stealing that game. They got a home team. They got a home game next week. Nothing to lose for the Buccaneers, man, and everything to gain. Rams, Lions, I think the Rams are playing phenomenal football. I know they didn't, have to do much today. They did beat the 49ers with the B squad. Rams could pull off this upset. But again, it's the Lions, the upstart team. This is their first year. They won the division. They won, they got to the playoffs for the first time in years. It's a feel-good story. I could see Dan Campbell, punching his ticket to the divisional round. But honestly, this is going to be a heck of a game. This one goes either way. Right now, early in the week, I kind of want to say that the Lions are going to win this game. But again, this could go either way, man. The Rams have been playing phenomenal football down the stretch of the season. I right now in the moment, I'm going to pick the Lions. But again, this could go either way. And the Cowboys, Packers, I want to see the upset so bad. I want to pick the Packers so bad coming on the road to beat the Cowboys. But I am not silly, not foolish. I think the Dallas Cowboys are just too good at home right now. They're locked and loaded. I got the Cowboys beating the Packers. But again, I would love to see the upset. And in that scenario, the lowest seed would be the Packers and the 49ers. Or sorry, not the Packers. The lowest seed, if that happens, would be the Buccaneers because they'd be the 4 seed. The Lions would be the 3 against Dallas. The 2 would be Dallas versus Detroit. And the 49ers would get the Buccaneers if that happens in that scenario. So I don't know. I feel like the 49ers might be playing the Buccaneers in their first round, but I'm excited to see what the heck happens. I'm so hyped up to see some football next weekend, some playoff football, relax, enjoy, kick back, and watch these teams struggle while the 49ers rest up and wait for their opponent. But let's talk about tonight's game real quick, shall we? I mean, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a great game. Again, it was just one of those games, regular season finale. We get the luxury of resting players. We didn't have to stress out about much. And it's nice, for all the years of going through, bad seasons, all the adversity, 2-win seasons, Dennis Erickson, sit here talking about Mike Nolan. We talked about this earlier pregame on Instagram, like all these bad years, Chip Kelly, Jim Tomsula, all the quarterback struggles. And you're like, man, this team is the number 1 seed. So it's nice that the 49ers got to rest and just relax. It was nice. It was relaxing. But there were some concerns in this game, and I want to talk about that. But it was nice to sit and chill and not have to worry about, the final game. It's definitely a change of pace because over the last couple of years, we've had to, rely on that last game sometimes to even make it. Remember against the Rams a couple of years back, if they don't win that game, we don't make the playoffs. And Ambry Thomas, the legendary play, and a couple of years back, the pick at the stick, if Bowman doesn't get that interception and pick 6, the 49ers, don't punch their ticket to the playoffs. So it's nice to know the 49ers are sitting in the driver's seat. They got the number 1 seed. They get to rest. We've had some really bad years. So that is nice. But what was not nice was Jake Moody missing a field goal. He missed a PAT. Those are issues that I hope don't resolve or don't come back in the playoffs. I don't want any of that in the playoffs. I know all of you guys don't. So let's hope that Jake Moody can figure out his struggles. He struggled in the preseason. To me, this was like a preseason game, so maybe that was it. When he does struggle, I feel like it just hurts his confidence and he gets in this mode where he can't hit anything, he can't kick anything, and it was bad. He missed that 38-yard field goal, and it was ugly. And then the PAT, I was just like, come on, man. I mean, if he hits one of those, it's a whole different ballgame. Niners could have won this game. So you don't want to see a kicker lose you games in the playoffs. And we are accustomed to seeing Robbie Gold, clutch money, nailing kicks, no problem. So I probably speak for most people in the Niner fan base that we do not want to see Jake Moody selling us in the playoffs. I will cry. I will be sick to my stomach. So hopefully he can figure that out. Ronnie Bell, man, he's a rookie. He's had a lot of struggles. I think he has a bright future, but, he's been inconsistent this year. He did have a nice touchdown pass, but drops and things like that. I hope Juwan Jennings is healthy for the playoffs because the 49ers absolutely need him. He's sure-handed. He's a clutch catcher. He's a great blocker. I hope Juwan Jennings is healthy come playoff time. He's got 2 more weeks to rest. That concussion has had to have been pretty intense, and I cannot wait for Juwan Jennings to be back. This man is much needed on the offense. He's big. And then the other key is just staying healthy. Hopefully nobody else gets injured. We did see Clelin Ferrell go down today. I don't know the severity of it yet. I haven't heard anything from Shanahan yet, as I just hopped on live here. But Clelin Ferrell, if he has any significant injury, that's big because the 49ers defensive line rotation has to have the depth. They cannot have any issues going forward. And Arik Armstead, the 49ers absolutely need Arik Armstead, man. This guy has been missing weeks because of the plantar fasciitis. I hope his foot is ready to go during the playoffs. He says he's hoping. The team says they hope for him. John Lynch said they're hopeful. But I really, really, really just am praying for Arik offense, man. Flood says our run defense is my only concern. I feel like I agree with this. The run defense has been pretty bad over the last couple of weeks. But again, I think a lot of that is tied to Arik Armstead. He's huge. He is so big. I agree with this, Arenado, that Armstead playing, he cleans up the run defense. He's so big. He's so vital for that run defense. So, Sharisa says, call Moody. Tell him he better get it together. He does need to get it together. I don't know what else to tell you, but I tell you what. One thing I know is I'm so happy Brock Purdy's the quarterback after seeing Sam Darnold. I mean, he's definitely a backup. You know, he played his butt off. He didn't get his $300K incentive, but it wasn't for lack of trying. But again, it showed you today just how good Brock Purdy is as a quarterback for the 49ers. So again, hopefully no big injuries. I'm happy that Sam Darnold was able to play and they let, Brock Purdy get his day off. But again, the big question going into next playoff game is how Brock is going to respond to the rest. Again, 21 days from the last game into the time he plays in the playoffs, we're going to really see what Brock's made of. So that is going to be one of the bigger questions going into this playoff game. You're going to hear a lot of talk over the next couple of weeks before that playoff game. Is Brock rusty? Is he going to have enough time to prepare? Will he be rusty? How's he going to play? He hasn't played a game in 20 days, 19, They're going to keep bringing up how many days he hasn't played. It's going to be the story of the next couple of weeks, and it's going to get tiring. Everybody's going to say, is Brock Purdy going to be able to, recreate his season success? And we're going to get tired of the talk, and I just cannot wait for Brock to go out there and play. But that is going to be the big talk of 49er Town is, will Brock be ready come playoff time? So we'll see. Hopefully the cornerbacks are healthy. They've been banged up, right? Tashawn Gibson, Jair Brown. You got to see a lot of the backups today. We saw Logan Ryan and Taylor Hawkins. I liked what I saw. Taylor Hawkins definitely was inconsistent. Some big plays, some bad plays, but he was definitely all over the place. I think this guy's got a good future. I like him. Shout out to Taylor Hawkins. First career interception in his first career game. So that was a cool moment. But other than that, wasn't much to cheer for because the 49ers lost. And again, it was the backups. But again, the biggest takeaway for me, the biggest L I felt for the day was the kicker situation. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Jake Moody. I know they drafted him, right? He was an early draft pick, and everybody made a big stink when they drafted him. And they were like, oh, my God, we're getting a third-round kicker. This is crazy. It's just what I said in the offseason was there was so much pressure on Jake Moody, and now there's going to be more pressure on Jake Moody going into the playoffs. So, going to be fun times, though. Big City Man says Moody needs to be benched. You bench Jake Moody, who the heck's going to be the kicker? So I just think that you got to hope that he gets his confidence back. Maybe tomorrow after the national championship game, it'll spun some more confidence in him. Maybe it'll inspire him when he sees Michigan come out and hopefully beat Washington tomorrow. I don't know what the case is. I don't know why Jake Moody missed those kicks. Again, maybe he was just in a funk, and let's see if he can kind of get back in his groove. Because before that, he was kind of on a heater. He hadn't missed a field goal since October in the Minnesota game, and he's been knocking them down left and right. So hopefully it was just a one-time thing. I'd rather see this team struggle. I'd rather see him struggle in this game that didn't matter much instead of the playoffs. So I just want to say that. I just want to say I'd rather see Jake Moody struggle today in today's game instead of playoffs. That's it. Because if he struggles in the playoffs, I'm sick. I'll be so sick, and I'm sure you guys will. Ask Joe says, sign Messi or Ronaldo to kick on an emergency deal. We might need to. Oh, man. My man Flood says, who would have thought with Rodgers leaving for the Jets and all their Super Bowl hype, Jets miss the playoffs and the Packers make it? It's just been a wild season, man. A wild, wild season. Crazy. I'm going to make my prediction real quick for the NFC Championship game. I really think the stars are aligning for the San Francisco 49ers to play the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship. I think that's what we're destined for. That's the views. That's going to get all the money. That's going to get all the hype. 49ers, Dallas Cowboys. I think Dallas Cowboys They're going to win 2 playoff games at home, AT&T Stadium. Again, they're winning amazing at home. They can't lose. But you know where they lose at? On the road. And I think the 49ers end them at Levi Stadium in the NFC Championship. That's going to be my prediction. 49ers in the Super Bowl. And they're going to beat Dallas Cowboys to get there. Cinema, ladies and gentlemen. That's my prediction. That is my prediction. Let's take a look at the AFC, shall we? Let's take a look real quick at the AFC. I want to pull this graphic up, and we'll go over to AFC real quick. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop your comments. Drop your comments. Who do you think is going to make it to the playoffs, man? Or win through the playoffs? So, let's see. Let's take a look at these AFC playoff matchups. The AFC is crazy. You got Baltimore's the #1 seed. Tonight, you got Miami, right? They get to play Buffalo. That's going to determine some seeding. You got Kansas City, Houston. They clinch their divisions. Wild cards, you got Cleveland. Again, Buffalo. They're playing Miami tonight for the rights of that division. And then Pittsburgh. So those teams are in. Honestly, I feel like Baltimore is going to make it to the Super Bowl. I just don't see any other team in the AFC taking them out. But I don't want to count out Kansas City, man. I know they're the 3rd seed. I know they've been struggling this year. I know they got the Taylor Swift curse. But I just feel like you can't count out Mahomes and Andy Reid. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I could see Baltimore or Kansas City making it to the Super Bowl. But I'm going to predict Baltimore. I'm going to predict Baltimore tonight. Baltimore versus the 49ers in Super Bowl. Revenge game. Not only revenge for Christmas, revenge from the last time we played these chumps in the Super Bowl. 49ers going to get extracting revenge on the Ravens. And we're going to be hosting that 6th Lombardi, man. It's going to be crazy. But I mean, the Browns are good too. Joe Flacco's story is incredible. But I just think Baltimore at home, I think Lamar is going to silence people that say he can't win in the playoffs and get this team to the Super Bowl. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited for these playoffs, though. At the end of the day, Niners are the #1 seed. I don't even care about today's game because the 49ers #1 seed because we balling. Randy says, I'm disgraced. I'm sorry I disgraced you, but that's my prediction. Everybody has their own predictions. Let me know your predictions in the comments. Everybody, let me know. What do you guys think? Niners, Ravens, Niners, Cleveland, Buffalo, Pittsburgh? Ain't no way. Pittsburgh's, they're probably not going to do good because J.J. Watt got hurt. Unfortunate for them. I don't know. I just can't trust Buffalo in the playoffs. Like, everybody wants to pick Buffalo. That's like a lot of people's surprise pick. I don't know if I could trust Josh Allen, man. The Dolphins have way too many injuries. I agree with that. Monica says Niners, Bills. Christine says Ravens, Niners. AJ says Pittsburgh versus 49ers. That would be crazy if the Pittsburgh Steelers made it. Niners versus Steelers. But, yo, I wouldn't mind if the Steelers make it. I'm just saying. I mean, cooked them earlier this season. Randy says Allen does too much and forces turnovers. I agree. He's just too unpredictable, mistake prone. My man Raj, let's go, Raj Mandalam. You got the best name in the chat. He says Niners versus I don't care. And as long as we're hosting the trophy, that's probably the best answer. Of course you get to say that. Your name's Raj. It's a great answer. It's a great name, by the way. California Man says Niners, Dolphins, Super Bowl. Randy says Ravens, Niners. He's disgraced at me, but he has the same prediction. Appreciate you, my boy. I like the Niners, Dolphins pick, California Man, but I just can't see the Dolphins. They got too many injuries. They're too banged up. The fact that they let Bradley Chubb play last week in a meaningless game was crazy to me. And he tore his ACL. I'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm hyped up, though. Texans versus 49ers in the Super Bowl, says Angel. Whoo, yo, shout out to the Texans, though, for real. Texans are amazing under DeMeco Ryans. They got a first-year quarterback, C.J. Stroud, probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Like, this guy, unbelievable season. And then you have DeMeco Ryans, first-year head coach. This team was 3-13 last season. I had 3-13-1. They had a tie. 3-13-1 was their season record last year. DeMeco Ryans comes in, changes the course of that team, and they're in the playoff. They clinched the division, the AFC South. They clinched the division, and now they're in the playoffs. What a turnaround. I'm rooting for DeMeco. I would be absolutely hyped to see Texans, Niners in the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan, DeMeco Ryans. That'd be absolutely amazing. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that Texans are still young. They haven't fought enough adversity. I just don't think they're ready for that to take that leap. But you can't count out C.J. Stroud. This guy has been so amazing this year. But I think the injury to Tank Dell might be a little bit too much. Nico Collins is great, but I just think they need a little bit more in terms of offense. Next year, they're going to be so much better. They'll get even more players in the draft. They had a heck of a draft this year. D'Amico did a great job in this draft. But, man, I would be so hyped to see Texans versus 49ers. So we'll see. Jags, what happened? Jags, man. The Jaguars. Niners broke them. The Niners broke the Eagles. They broke the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think he's that great, honestly. I mean, this guy was supposed to be a generational quarterback. I know he's been banged up, but, like, to me, he's just an average quarterback. That whole quarterback class during that season where the 49ers were going to draft a quarterback, right? They had the 12th pick. Mac Jones, Trey Lance, all the discourse we had about quarterback, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance and XYZ, Mac Jones, all these quarterbacks. Like, if you look at that class, none of them turned out to be really good. I think Trevor Lawrence is pretty much a bust if you look at what he's done in terms of where everybody expected him to be, this, like, generational Peyton Manning type quarterback. He's been okay, but he hasn't been like this elite guy, quarterback class was not good if you really think about it, in terms of the whole way they've panned out. Justin Fields was another guy, the jury's still out on him. Brock Purdy's better than all those guys. It's amazing. It's amazing, man. Shout out to the Niners for still taking a chance on getting this quarterback, last pick of the draft, better than that whole class that we had so much discourse and conversations over that whole. I remember that year. It was crazy. Every single day we were talking about Fields at 3, Trey Lance, Fields, Mac Jones, ... all these guys, Zach Wilson. And lo and behold, Brock Purdy better than all those guys. Crazy times, man. What a season, man. Unbelievable. But yeah, there's always a surprise in the playoffs, as all things can be. Always a surprise in the playoffs. It's going to be fun. You just can't predict sometimes. Cosmo says exactly. It's crazy how some 49er fans complain about Brock Purdy watching all these quarterback failures. It's amazing seeing how good Brock is, and you look around the league and just quarterbacks just shitting the bed, for lack of a better word. They're not doing great, and they get excuse. Like Trevor Lawrence still gets a lot of excuses for whatever reason. Oh, yeah, Urban Meyer. Oh, the injuries, this, that, the other. Maybe he's just not that good. Maybe he's just not that good. I don't know. C.J. Stroud's a baller. Absolutely. 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 Raymond says the playoffs where the real dogs come out to play. You're right. You know what? Regular season, you can hold the awards. You can have all the great records. You can be a dog in the regular season, but it don't matter. You throw it all out the window in the playoffs. This is where the real dogs come out to play. I absolutely agree with you. Will the 49ers be absolutely dogs? We'll see. We'll see. I'm hyped up. You guys have a good rest of your night. I'll probably hop on Instagram a little later, but those are my thoughts. I just want to hop on here, say good stuff, good rest of the season for us. Let's hope the Niners come out and play like dogs in the playoffs and hoist that Lombardi. Bills, Dolphins getting set here. I'm going to watch that one. Appreciate you guys for all the support. Y'all take a rest. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Hyped up for the playoffs. We won't get to play for another 2 weeks, guys. We have to wait until January 20th or 21st. I will see you then, but don't worry. We'll still be posting as much content as we can. I'll be live as much as I can. Levi's will be rocking and rolling in the playoffs. I hope to see you there if I'm there. Still seeing if what games I might be going to, but I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your night. Didn't get the win tonight, but it doesn't matter. The 49ers are the number 1 seed in the NFC. Enjoy it, faithful. Let's hope these guys get healthy. Bang, bang. Niner gang.